Uh, to 5. With the territory of a party to a conflict, the latter is satisfied when the individual protected person is definitely suspended of the engaged in activities hostile to the security of the state, and the individual person is not entitled to claim such rights and privileges under the present convention, as would an exercise in favor of such persons be prejudiced to the security of the state. Now, we're going to drop down here. This is 24. Now, I want to stress something. 1910, all right, these states started creating birth certificates. All right? The birth certificate in 1910 that was created, it did a lot of things. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But this was put into the laws of war in 1949. All right, so 39 years later, they finally put this pen to paper on this. This is Convention relating to the protection of civilian persons in time of war, August 12, 1949. Article 24. The parties to the conflict shall take the necessary measures to secure that children under 15 who are orphaned and are separated from their parents as a result of the war are not left to their own resources, and that their maintenance, the exercise of their religion, their education are facilitated in all circumstances. Their education shall, as far as possible, be entrusted to persons of a similar cultural tradition. The parties to the conflict shall facilitate the reception of such children in a neutral country for the duration of the conflict, right? Which, with the consent of the protecting power, if any, and under due safeguards for the observance of the principles stated in the fourth paragraph. They shall furthermore endeavor to arrange all children under 12 to be identified by the wearing of an identifying disc or by some other means. Now, basically, when we're born, a lot of people don't want to hear this, but this is a fact of life. You're born under a United States flag. You're born in a hospital, all right, under that flag. This comes as part of the Constitution where the government has the right to create needful things like ports and docks and stuff like that. Where under the war they created hospitals. So those people out there who say, I wasn't born under the jurisdiction of the United States or subject to it, yeah, well, I got some bad news for you. You were born under that flag. I'm going to prove it to you in just a minute. All right? This can be looked up. All right? You might want to write this down. In 2008, 400 and something children were taken off a Mormon ranch in the state of Texas. All right? The court said that they had to be returned because the state had no right to take those kids. We did some research for that, and we found out those children did not have a certificate of live birth. They had nothing. Their names were in the Bible, and they had no jurisdiction over them. So this has all got to do with this certificate of live birth. We're going to get into some more of that in a little bit. Now, we're going to go down here to Part 2, Statutes and Treatment of Protected Persons. 27, Section 1, 27. Protected persons are entitled in all circumstances to respect in their persons, their honor, their family rights, their religious convictions and practices, and their manners and customs. They shall at all times be humanely treated and shall be protected, especially against all acts of violence or threat thereof, and against insults and public curiosity. Women shall be especially protected against any attack on their honor, and particularly against enforced prostitution. all right, or any form of indecent assault, without prejudice to the provisions relating to their state of health, age, and sex. All protected persons shall be treated with the same consideration by the party to the conflict in whose power they are, without any adverse detentions, restrictions based on particular race, religion, or particular opinion, political opinion. Now, this is an interesting 29. The party to the conflict in whose hands protected person may be is responsible for the treatment, according to them, of its agents, irrespective of any individual responsibility which may be incurred. In plain words, the people in charge of this are the commanders. That would be your president and your governors of your states. Now, this is one right here. This is number 39. All right, we're going to read this. All right, protected person who, as a result of the war, have lost their gainful employment. For those of you who have been following this show from day one, there's this thing out there called the money dock. We have never been paid, people. That Federal Reserve note is not money. All right, so therefore there is no gainful employment. There never has been since 1933. All right, so you need to go read that money doc, all right, and make sure you understand it. Anyhow, for a loss of gainful employment shall be granted the opportunity to find gainful employment. There isn't any. That opportunity shall, subject to security considerations and to the provisions of Article 40, all right, be equal to the enjoyed by the international of the power in whose territory they are. When the party to the conflict applies to the protecting person's method of control, which results his being unable to support himself, especially if such person is prevented from, for reasons of security, from finding paid employment on reasonable conditions, the said party shall ensure his support and that of his dependents. Protected persons may be, in any case, receive allowances from their home country, the protecting power, or the relief society were referred to in Article 30. Now, you guys have all heard of welfare, I'm sure. Well, we're going to walk you right through all this. Right there, they told you if you don't have gainful employment, then your dependents are now their dependents. All right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's right here in this laws of war.